Good morning, guys. I figured I would do a quick little vlog on Disney. I get asked a lot because I have a lot of friends, family, acquaintances who know that I'm really, really big into Disney. So I get asked actually quite a bit about like tips and tricks. I get asked a lot like, how do I save money at Disney? And it's usually a lot of people who have never been to Disney, or they've been when they were really little and now they're taking their kids. So actually quite a lot of times in my life, I get texts, I get emails, I get just random conversations of people asking like, where can I get cheap tickets? How do you go to Disney so much? How can I save some money? And I kind of woke up this morning thinking this would actually be a good vlog just to sit here and have a conversation with you and talk to you kind of what I have learned in the past on how to save money with going to Disney. Now, a little caveat, Disney is not cheap. This is not, you're not going to save like millions of dollars. It's not going to be like a $500 trip. And I always tell people that this is, Disney is one of those things that it's very expensive. Everything is expensive there. And you just have to go in knowing that and just enjoy yourself no matter what. But with that said, there are little tips and tricks and things that you can do to minimize your cost a little bit. To make it, take the edge off and make it a little bit more enjoyable. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for coming along on this adventure, and let's get to it. Here because it's like morning. Sorry about the lighting. I wanted to be able to do this vlog while I had it fresh, and then like I wrote down a bunch of ideas. So my number one tip on saving money at Disney, and again, if my dog, get out of there, she's very interested. So you want to come say hi? Come here. She is, well, there you can see her little nose. See, there's Sydney. Okay, now go lay down. Go lay down. Okay, so sorry, diverting. My number one tip for Disney, go lay down. Now she's being a camera hog. My number one tip for Disney is tickets. I do not buy my tickets directly from Disney, and that's a lot of mistake that a lot of people do. I actually buy my tickets from a reputable third-party seller. And where I buy my tickets is a company called Undercover Tourist. And I'll put it in the show notes down below. They are online. They are considerably cheaper. So for example, for a 5-day base ticket, and we'll talk about Hopper versus base, I paid $410. At Disney, you'd be paying about $40 to $50 more. Yeah, I know it's not like that much of a savings, but still, $40 to $50 at Disney, like that's quite a lot. And then even for Undercover Tourists, like doing Hopper tickets and stuff like that, it is, or not even Hopper tickets, but doing multi-day tickets, you can even save even more. So that is my number one tip. Don't ever, unless you're doing a package through Disney, which I hardly ever do, don't ever buy tickets directly through Disney. Buy them through Undercover Tourist if you absolutely can, or a reputable dealer. I just happen to use that. I'll put it in the show notes below. Right, Sydney? My second tip that I'm giving is where you stay, staying off-site versus DVC. Now, this is a money saver, but also this has to be personal choice for your family. I would ask you, what kind of trip are you planning on taking? Is this a once-in-a-lifetime trip where you want to give your kids or yourself or your family, whatever, the true Disney experience? Then I probably would say stay on site. So if you're that person that you want to give them the true Disney experience, stay on site. So with staying on site, there are different levels and options for cost with staying on site. You have the value resorts, which are usually about, I don't know, $175 a night, give or take. So those are value. The moderate resorts are about $250 a night, and then the deluxe resorts are $300, $400 on up, obviously deluxe. So you have to choose your tier with that. With that, I'll do another vlog on this. What I usually do is I do what's called renting DVC points. DVC stands for Disney Vacation Club, and it's kind of Disney's version of a timeshare. And so what you can do, I'm not a DVC member. My sister is actually a DVC member, but I am not a DVC member. But what I actually do is I rent DVC points from somebody who has, say, extra points. They're not able to use it because obviously they get points every single year and they expire. So there might be somebody who maybe is not going to Disney this year. So in order to recoup some of their money, they don't want to have their points expire, so they rent them out. You get all the benefits of a DVC person. It's just you're not paying the top price. So there are Facebook groups. There are on Disboards.com, which I'll link in the show notes down below. There is a whole page with like renting points, people saying they're renting points. For this trip that I'm going on in October, I actually rented points through somebody through Disboards. It went fantastic. She was even able to set up the dining plan for us. So it just went really, really smoothly. And we are staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge, which is a deluxe resort, which is usually between $400 and $500 a night. And we got it for about $185 a night. So that's the price of a value. There are downsides to renting DVC points. You don't get to take advantage of some of the deals and stuff like that they might offer, which is one of my tips that I'll get to, like free dining. If all of a sudden they come out with a free dining promotion, if you've already rented DVC points, you don't get to take advantage of that. That's because you've already gotten your discount. So you kind of have to weigh the pros and the cons. We don't tend to do free dining every single time just because it's a lot of food for us. And maybe I'll do another vlog on free dining, but renting DVC points. Another trick, if you don't feel like you need to have the top of the notch full Disney experience with your hotel, staying off-site. There are actually some very, very good off-site hotels. Condos. I've done a trip with Disney where I stayed in a condo. I've done a trip with Disney where I stayed in a house that had its own pool. There are some great hotels in the Disney Springs area that are really, really good. And some of these hotels, you kind of have to do a little research, but a lot of these hotels, you still get the perks of staying on Disney property. So when you stay on Disney property, you get perks. You get to get into the parks earlier. You get to book your fast passes earlier. Some of the off-site hotels also are part of the perks. So you got to do your research on that. The downside to staying off-site, you do have to rent a car. So that's a little expense. But if you're already going to rent a car anyways, maybe it's worth it to you. You kind of have to weigh the pros and the cons for that one. The third tip that I wrote down is getting groceries. And this might be more beneficial if you are planning on doing the DVC thing that I talked about earlier. All DVC rooms have a little kitchenette. Either they have a full kitchen or a little kitchenette. It depends on what room you're doing. The room we're doing for Animal Kingdom Lodge in October is we get a little kitchenette. So one of the ways to save a little bit of money is getting your own groceries. This is kind of what we're doing. We are eating in Disney. We're like going out to eat. We're not going to cook all of our meals, but we're doing breakfast in the room. We're doing snacks. We're purchasing our own alcohol, that kind of stuff. And that can really save quite a bit because snacks and breakfast that can be very expensive if you purchase it at Disney. So we are renting a car in October and we're planning on stopping at a grocery store just on our way to check in. But if you don't rent a car, there are many, many different companies out there where you can order your groceries online and have them delivered to their room. Also, if you're an Amazon Prime member, you can use Amazon Prime Fresh. I think that's what it's called, Prime Fresh. They also deliver to every single Disney resort, and I've heard that's a very popular thing. So there's lots of options, and that is a very big tip to save money. If you're not staying in a DVC resort, every single hotel on property has a mini fridge. So even just getting like milk and some cereal and some fruit and, juice and stuff like that, you still have a mini fridge to put it in there. And that could save you a lot of money in like breakfast options and stuff like that you don't have to pay for it at Disney. My fourth tip is the dining plan. I wrote down dining plan ? Do your research on the dining plan. How the dining plan works is there's different levels of the dining plan. So basically you prepay for your food. The most popular dining plan option is every single day for every night of your stay, you get one quick service. So it's like a quick service, one table service, like a sit down restaurant, and one snack. And I think right now it's going at about, $80 per person for adult and maybe $50 per person for child. So do your research. I am kind of on the fence about the dining plan. Sometimes I really like it because it's really convenient and you can save money if I know I'm going to eat a lot. it's just so much food. If you think about it, like some of these quick service restaurants, because even with every single meal, you get like a dessert. So like even a quick service meal, like you're sitting down for lunch, you get a dessert with that. Well, how many times do you guys like go out to eat and like actually get to dessert every single meal? So yes, you prepay for it and the convenience is really great. But if you wouldn't prepay for it, would you eat that much food? So you might be saving money that way. But maybe you do eat dessert with every meal. Maybe you do enjoy that much food, so you kind of have to do your research with the dining plan and figure out, are you really going to save money? Online, and I'll try to find it and put it in the show notes below, there are dining plan calculators where you can kind of plug in, well, this is how I'm going to eat during, my time at Disney. And it'll basically like calculate everything for you and basically tell you whether you're going to save money or not. It was actually really helpful when we decided whether we wanted to do the dining plan or not. So dining plan, do your research. Sometimes you can save money, sometimes you can't. The fifth tip that I wrote down is park hopper versus non-park hopper. I will always be an advocate to say that I think park hopper is a waste of money. I know some people would sit here and tell me, oh my gosh, it's not a waste of money. I think park hopper is a waste of money. Like I said, I did a 5-day base ticket. I paid about $410 if I wanted to add park hopper to that. So like basically right now my base ticket says that I can go to one park each day. With a park hopper, you can go to one park and maybe that same day hop to a different park. You have a little bit more flexibility. If I wanted to add park hopper to my ticket, I would have had to pay like an extra $100. Not worth it. And I honestly do not think that it's worth it for anybody, especially families with young kids. Sometimes hopping to different parks is more of a pain in the ass, especially if you don't have a car, because you got to figure out the bus system, and then it's really hot and you got crabby kids and they're tired from getting up early in the morning. So you really have to think, are you really going to park hop, or doing one park per day, is that going to suffice? I will always say that adding the park hopper option is a waste of money. And I will always say that is probably your biggest thing that you can save money on. My sixth tip is purchasing souvenirs, especially in advance. Souvenirs at Disney are very, very expensive. So if you're taking kids and they really, really have to have souvenirs, my biggest tip is going to your local Target. They actually have a lot of really, really cute Disney souvenirs. Buy them in bulk, bring them with. There you go, that your kids have souvenirs. Also down in Disney, if you happen to have a car, there's a wonderful, wonderful outlet. I think it's on Vineland, that sells all the Walt Disney World souvenirs in an outlet. So it's all the Disney stuff. So we usually try to hit up that whenever we go to Disney and buy our souvenirs there versus at the park. But if you are the ones that like your kids have to have that plush toy, get it at Target before you leave. Go down, check out the outlet, try to get your souvenirs, not at Disney. And the last tip that I wrote down is take advantage of deals. A lot of times Disney will release a lot of really, really great deals that really could save you a lot of money. For example, just yesterday they announced they extended the free dining promotion. So basically anybody who gets a Walt Disney World hotel reservation, and I think they have to get a ticket as well, Walt Disney World ticket, I'm not sure on that though, they get free dining. So remember when I said before that you have to look at the dining and figure out whether it's worth it for you? If you get it for free, it's pretty much worth it for you because you're basically getting your food for free. So yeah, yesterday they extended free dining. A lot of times they'll do like 30% off of a room, or they'll do different promotions and stuff like that. So really, really scour that internet, scour the Walt Disney World Resort homepage to see what kind of deals they have. And then also here's a quick tip. If you have booked your Walt Disney World Resort and then they end up coming out with a promotion like later on, like the free dining promotion later on, you can always call Walt Disney World back and take advantage of that free promotion. They will let you add it at a later time. So that's a little pro tip. So that is it. Those are my tips and tricks on how to save money when you go on your Walt Disney World vacation. So let me know, what have you done to save yourself money on your Disney vacation? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear some other tips and tricks, or maybe some things that I haven't even heard of. So let me know. I'd love to have that conversation with you. Thanks for joining me, and I hope that you got some really great tips and tricks and ideas out of this. I hope that this was beneficial for all of you. I also hope that you're having a wonderful and fantastic day. say, hey, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. I post content usually every Thursday. A lot of it is content about our cabin as we progress in our cabin. Some of it is Disney stuff like that, but most of it is just kind of like Matt and I's random daily fun. So don't forget to like and subscribe. So thanks for joining and thanks for watching, and I will see you real soon.